What is going on, everybody? How are we all doing? And welcome back today to another installment of our Blackburn Rovers FIFA 18 Career Mode Road to Glory, where today we have got another 4 games for you in the English League One, where of course, I've just skipped past it right there, but you can see we are dominating this league right now. I spoke about it in the last episode whether you guys wanted me to sim this season when it got to the point that we'd won the title, if we do win the title, assuming we don't completely bottle it, of course, and the response was yes. So when it gets to a point where the title is mathematically won, promotion is secured, all that kind of stuff, we will be simming to the end of the season. We're still a little bit away from that right now. We're currently 16 points clear with a game in hand, and the AI have got 12 games left, so that's 36 points. We can go 19 points clear, so you know, we're closing in on it, but we're still a little ways away from having sewn up the title just yet. So bear that in mind when we do get to the point where it is won. I will be simming forward to the following season in the Championship. But like I said, we've got 4 games for you again in today's episode. We're probably going to stick with the same formula as the last episode, where we'll play 3 of them and sim 1. The 4 games for today, we've got Walsall away from home. We've got Northampton at home. We're then going away from home. And we've got Blackpool at home. I think the Wigan game is away from home. In fact, no. 4 home games in a row. That is kind of crazy. I think the game that we're going to simulate is going to be the second one here against Northampton. So they're the 4 games for today. I think without any further ado, we're just going to simulate forward. If anything happens, I'll let you know. If not, we'll be going into the first game. So just a small bit of news before we get into the next game, and that is that the youngster Itu, I'm going to be butchering his name for this entire series. He's back from injury, which is fantastic. Of course, picked up a bit of a knock, was out for a few weeks, but he's back in action now, so he can come straight back into the starting 11, which is of course where we're playing it. But we're going to get into this game against Walsall now. I'll show you the lineup in a second. Let's get into it. Here we are then, guys. First game of today's episode, away from home against Walsall. The team is looking strong, but we have actually made a couple of changes for today's starting 11 that you're going to see in just a second. Walsall, the team, my local team actually, well, not the most local team near to me, but it's pretty close. They're about 20 minutes away from me, half an hour. Are actually doing very, very well. It's sitting in 4th place, but you can see the points difference, man. We are just running away with this league right now, as I just mentioned. They've also just said as well about Dominic Samuel being top scorer. It's interesting that his goals seem to have dried up ever so slightly since we changed formation, so we'll have to see if he can regain a little bit of form. He did score in the last game, I believe, but you can see here as well, not only we're dominating the league, just all the stats in general. We're top scoring team, I believe, we're the best defensive team as well, so it is all looking rosy at Ewood Park. But we're away from home today, Walsall. Let's not take it lightly. Let's pick up the 3 points, but before we start, let's check out the lineups. So here is the Walsall lineup for today's game then. There's a couple of players in there that I'm recognising straight off the bat. The Simeon Jackson, who used to play for Norwich in the Premier League, is their right striker. They've got Bakayoko. Of course, not the Chelsea one. He's a striker. That one's a CDM. But other than that, if I'm being honest, not anyone that I really recognise. They're playing a 5 at the back, which I find can either be a massive pain in the arse to play against because it's very hard to break down, or you just overwhelm them and it doesn't make any difference and they've got nothing going forward. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes in this game. But here's our lineup for the match. We've got right in between the sticks with the very familiar back 4 of Nyambe, Lenihan, Mulgrew and Williams. The midfield 3 is where we've changed things around at first a little bit. We brought in Bradley Dack for Itu. He's come back from injury, but I'm only going to put him on the bench. He still had a little plaster by his name. He's in there with DuPont, who had a fantastic last episode, and Smallwood. And then the other changes that we brought in, Reece Nelson at that right forward spot for Elliot Bennett, who'd been kind of underwhelming over the last couple of episodes. So bringing in Reece Nelson, he's at that top end of the pitch with Tabla and Samuel. Let's get into the game, guys. Oh, it's a great ball in. And we are 1-0 down within 5 minutes. It's Simeon Jackson. I mentioned him at the start of the game, how I recognised him from playing in the Premier League. And that was a bit of Premier League quality there. He took that chance, didn't need a second sniff, the first chance of the game. And he just hammers it at the near post. And they are 4th ball, so I did say we can't take these lightly. But really, it's on the wing where we got caught out. It's a lovely ball in. There's no marking. And what a finish that is. 1-0 down. Not the start of the episode that we would have wanted. Can we get it forward? We've got Tabla. Oh, Tabla, that's some lovely step overs. He sold the defender, and we're straight back into the game. 1-1. It did not take long. I think Walsall scored in the 5th minute. We're back in the game by the 12th, and really, that is just some fantastic individual play from Tabla. A few step overs there. Defender didn't know what to do. It completely threw him off, and then he finishes the chance very nicely as well. And really, there's been 2 chances in this game, and from 2 chances, 2 goals. Look at that, the defender just couldn't get anywhere near Tabla. Slams it across the keeper on his left foot, and straight back into the game. Perfect response. He's going to bring it forward, and we've got a nice run here from Nelson. We managed to pick him out. Has he got the pace to get away from the defender? He has. We need a bit of support in the box. We're going to try and pull it all the way back. It's going to cause problems. I'll tell you what, the keeper's done pretty well there, because everyone was closing in on him. Uh-oh. Whoa. Simeon Jackson. That's twice that Walsall have done us with the cross on the low cross as well. And how has he missed that? I mentioned about him being ex-Premier League and Premier League quality and taking the first chance. That was a sitter. Going to be a corner, or is it a throw-in? It's a corner, but I'll tell you what, Samuel running at them there, you could tell they were not keen on it. Let's get the ball in there. That's a decent cross, you know. Oh, it's a great save by the keeper. I don't know if it was the keeper or cleared off the line, but either way, great save. Nelson's picked up a knock in all that as well, which isn't ideal. Williams to whip in the ball. That's a great ball again. Oh, I'll tell you what, the Walsall keeper's had a good 30 seconds there. Great save from the corner if it was in and got to it, and that is an awkward one to deal with. Headed into the ground. It could have been bouncing over, but he didn't want to take any chances and just touches it with his fingertips over the bar. Okay. Well flicked on from Walsall's point of view. Actually, Jackson's found it out wide again. Some good running by Devlin, and this is where all the dangers come from. The crosses have been fantastic. It's a nice move. What a goal this would be. And I'll tell you something, guys. Sometimes you've just got to sit down and appreciate a goal, because that was an absolutely incredible move from Walsall. I was saying they've been causing problems on that right-hand side. We've not been able to defend it. Williams, who's usually very, very solid for us, not been able to get near Devlin here. It's a decent pull back to the edge. First time pass, takes the touching side and knocks it into the middle. First time finish, there is just nothing you can do about that. And as that goal's got in as well, we've actually made a substitution. You might have seen just that Reece Nelson's picked up a knock. I've decided to bring on in his place. So Connor Washington, of course, came on and scored after coming back from injury in the last episode. He's not a natural right foot forward, right winger, but he's got goals in him, and I think that'll be good support for Samuel that can perhaps chop and change. Dominic Samuel. Oh, I couldn't quite fit it back to Smallwood. Although he's got it back. Is Smallwood onside? It's gone in. We're looking for a flag. We're waiting for a whistle. There's no whistle. It is 2-2, and it's an immediate response, and it's from Smallwood, of all the people on the pitch. He's one of their least likely goal scorers. Such a deep-sitting playmaker, usually just wins that ball back and sprays it out wide in the middle of the park. But he found himself in on goal here after a bit of fortune, to be honest. He carried on his run. I think it's the left-back playing him onside, and it's a lovely finish in off the post. And before you know it, we are back in the game again. Both times we've gone behind, we have responded immediately. It is going to be the game. It's 2-2 full-time. One of the more entertaining games of this season so far. So many chances for either team to win the game, but it ends up being the points are shared, a point apiece. And yeah, you can see there, devastated Bakayoko had a couple of chances to win it for Walsall, and we could have won it ourselves. Very close game. We'll take points away from home, I suppose, against the team in 4th place. Isn't the worst, but we need to get a win next time. Let's not let this be a habit. Let's tie up this league as quickly as we can. So we've now arrived at our second game of today's episode. This is the one that we're going to be simulating. We're at home against Northampton. I expect this should be 3 points, despite the fact we're fielding, well, we're playing our youth team, as you guys know. I've spoken about it before. We're playing Itu and DuPont in the 11, but hopefully we should still have enough here. We are at home. Northampton are not the greatest team in the world. I don't know where they are in the league, but I know they're not at the top end of that. I think we're just going to skip to the end, and we lose 2-1. That's super disappointing. That's a draw and a loss in the last 2 games. We need to pick ourselves back up, I think. Not only did we lose that game, even worse news is that Tabler actually pulled a hamstring, torn it in fact, and he's going to be out for 2 months, which sucks. Been one of our better players this season, so we're going to have to be playing Bennett on the left and Nelson on the right from now on, I think, until he's back. That's a poor injury to suffer, especially with not long to go in the season. Here we are then, guys, the third game of today's episode, hosting Wigan Athletic. A bit of a dull game, this one, and we've had to go with a very, very rotated team. This one as well is actually on the telly. We've just had Martin Tyler saying, and it's live, as he does. But yeah, we've had to make a lot of changes for this match. A couple of little injuries, a few stamina issues has meant like almost a complete swap over from the team we've seen in the last couple of games, unfortunately. But still, it's a strong team. I think we've got enough in the locker. Let's have a look at the lineup so you can see what we've changed and see how we're going to lining up as well. Wigan actually, you can see, down in 11th place. Quite disappointing for them. A team that I think you'd expect to be challenging at the top end of the table, but not had a great season. Of course, we're still, as it stands, 16 points clear after 35 games. But it's going to be interesting to see how this rotated team does. There's a few players here could potentially have starter places up for grabs. So here is our starting 11 for the game. Like I say, lots of changes. The team's almost completely swapped over. We've still got Ryer in goal. We've then got Ward, Downing, Mulgrew and Hart at the back. So Mulgrew, the only one retaining his spot there. The midfield 3 is also completely different. Chapman, Harper and Ryerson, with the front 3 of Washington, Bennett and Nelson. Of course, we have that injury to Tabler, which has forced us into that change. But yeah, a very different 11 to what we're used to seeing. Wigan's team, Again, there's going to be a few names that are kind of familiar here. Of course, Will Grigg being the obvious one. They've got Gary Roberts as well, Massey on the right. So, a few familiar names. And I think they actually beat us earlier in the season. Now, we might have drawn. I remember Will Grigg did really well, though. So, hopefully, we can stop that being the case in this game and we can pick up all 3 points. Ryerson, it's a really nice play. Can he get an early goal? Oh, Ryerson! He knocks the bottle over next to the goal. I don't know if you saw that, but that was very, very close. In fact, this is a lovely angle to see that bottle. Look at the bottle! R.I.P. Oh, you can't even see it on that. It just makes contact as the replay skips. That's an awful pass from Hart. Not what I wanted to do, but we kind of got away. Well, we have got away with it. Not kind of. We very much got away with it. Now bringing it down this side is Ward. Not the quickest, but he's got enough about him here. Ward. Go on, Ward, lad. He's not a natural right back. You can't tell. Look at him go. Wins the free kick. That was an incredible surging run from the centre half. Filling in at right back today. And it's going to be a booking for the Wigan player that's brought him down there. It's Sean McDonald, but what a long bursting run that was. Just glides past the challenge. We're looking for the runner in behind it. Can we find it? Come on, Washington, get your foot down. Connor Washington, has he got there? Oh, the keepers. Come on, the chance hasn't gone. Nelson, oh my lord, what a scramble. Looking for the runner. We're looking for the runner. Nelson, someone peel off back stick. Go on. Oh, they're just flinging themselves at it, but it just isn't quite happening. E2 has just come off the bench. Nice ball in the back stick. Great save again by the keeper. How is this 0-0? So we've entered the 90th minute. Only 2 minutes to be added on. If we're going to get a winner, it's going to be now. And Dominic Samuel's come on for the last 5 minutes. Can he make an impact? He's the top scorer in the league. And I tell you what, I thought for a second then it was lining up for a magic Samuel finish to the game. But that is the 4-time whistle. And it's 0-0, and for the first time in this entire series, I think, we're 3 games into this episode, 1 left to go, and we've not picked up a win, which is kind of shocking, but that one, to be fair, man of the match without a doubt has got to go to the Wigan goalkeeper. He had an absolute blinder. Christian Wallace, his name is, but my lord, we could not get around him. We'll see from the stats here. 5 shots through on target, it felt like we had so many more than that, and Wigan with just the 3, but 0-0, that has been a rarity on this series. Here we are then, guys, final game of today's episode. We're hosting Blackpool at Ewood Park. Somehow, we've not had a great episode. We are still 16 points clear in the league right now. As it stands, we need 5 more wins and we have won the league title. That's assuming everyone below us wins all their games. So 5 more wins and we will have won the league title. So if we win this game today and then the 4 games in the next episode, we could technically have won this league at the end of the next episode, which is kind of crazy because there's still a long way left to go in this series, but that is exciting and that is massive motivation to pick up the 3 points in today's game. You can see we're on 79 points, still somehow, like I say, 16 points clear with 10 games left to go, not many left to go at all now, and Blackpool seem to be struggling down that lower half. I didn't see them in the top half at least. We are now returning back to our more favoured lineup. Pretty much the only player that's realistically missing is going to be a Tablet on that left-hand side up front, but he's been replaced by Harry Chapman for this game. You'll see the lineup in just a second, and then we'll get this game kicked off. So like I say, we're back to a much more familiar lineup for today's game. The only change I can really mention is Chapman in that front left position up there with Samuel and Bennett. We've got DuPont, Itu and Smallwood making up the midfield 3. And then a very familiar backline of Williams, Mulgrew, Lenihan, Nyambe and Raya. So very, very strong. We're giving Bennett another chance at right wing instead of Nelson. He seems very up and down, Bennett does lately. I don't know if it's because he's leaving and he knows he's going or what, but he's been very up and down. But here's the Blackpool lineup. Anyone familiar here? They've got Clayton playing a flat 4-5-1, it would seem, or something similar along those lines. Not too many familiar names, but of course Blackpool, a team that's very recently, a couple of days ago, of course, now finally managed to shake off their dodgy owners, the Oystons. So congratulations if there's any Blackpool fans out there. That's some fantastic news for your club in real life. But hopefully, not to disappoint you Blackpool fans that are watching, we'll be taking 3 points from him in this one. Good block on the cross, but it's going to spin it towards goal. And that was dodgy out of absolutely nothing there. Blackpool hit the bar with the first major action of the game, and they're pressing us high here as well. Need to be careful. Managed to deal with that one a lot more easily. Finds Bennett. We've got the running down this right-hand side as well in the Nyambe, which is fantastic. We're going to drill that in along the floor. It's a great ball! And that is a magnificent goal. The low crosses on this game, when they come off, looks absolutely sensational, especially when you rifle them in first time like that one. That is just genuinely a lovely, lovely move. Very simple stuff. We waited for the overlap of Nyambe. He puts the ball on a plate for Samuel, but first time, What a finish that is. Very powerful. At the roof of the net. The keeper doesn't stand a chance. Not quite at the roof of the net, but so hard, so hard he hit that, so well he met it that the keeper was never going to stop that, I don't think. 1-0. Fantastic stuff. We cycle it back to Dupont, who's looking at the top. Spreads it out wide to Williams on his left-hand side. Into Smallwood. Back to Dupont. He's managed to turn his man. Oh, not quite. Although it's sat very nicely. And I almost felt like before it even shot, you could hear in the tone of my voice, I knew that was going to be a goal. Dominic Samuel gets his second of the game. He has just been unreal for us this season, remaining the top scorer in the league, of course. It was actually a very nice turn for Dupont to get away from his man, but the touch takes it away from him. We get lucky how it sits, though, right to the lap of Dominic Samuel, exactly where Blackpool wouldn't have wanted it. And it's just slammed in. The keeper's nowhere near it. 2-0 up, and that should be the game. Get there. Welly. Dupont. Not the best pass. That was kind of a hopeful pass more than an accurate one. Just hoping there was going to be someone there. But I'll tell you what, Mulgrew's done fantastically well. He's picked out Bennett. He's got Dominic Samuel ahead of him. And Samuel's going to run at this defence. He's on a hat-trick. Dominic Samuel is going all the way. Can he get the hat-trick? He can. It's 3-0. We haven't had that for a few games, have we? A Dominic Samuel hat-trick, but he's been fantastic in this match. The first one's probably the pick of the bunch, the first goal of today, where he just slammed it in first time from that low Niambe cross. But in this match, the Blackpool defence haven't been able to deal with him whatsoever. I mean, look at that. If we're in that position, really, you'd imagine a defender would take a booking or try and get a footing, but they're just letting cruise past. Puts it in the bottom corner. Keeper's got no chance. 3-0 now, and we are sailing to our first win of the episode, thank God. And there it is, the full-time whistle blows. It's a comfortable win, the only one of today's episode. Kind of shocking, really, but it's Dominic Samuel's hat-trick that proves to be the difference. Blackpool couldn't live with him. His three goals giving us the 3-0 win there. And that means, assuming that second place, which I think is Oxford, have won, we now only need 4 more wins to win the league title. Let's just have a quick check of that and see where we stand. So there's the table, guys, and like I say, just 4 more wins will do it for us. We could be the league champions at the end of next episode, which is really, really exciting. With 9 games left to go, we are in very much the pole position, very much the driver's seat, and I think we may already, in fact, no, we're not quite promoted yet because actually Charlton are keeping up quite well with Oxford, but it's looking very, very likely, isn't it, right now? You've got to be honest, we have had a phenomenal season. 37 games, 25 wins, only 5 losses. When you look at that compared to most of the teams, that is an unreal return, but that is going to end off the episode. As always, if you did enjoy it, lads, make sure to leave a big thumbs up, and I thank you again for your incredible support on this series. You all seem to love it, and I'm really enjoying recording it as well, so I hope you all do leave a big thumbs up if you do enjoy it. Leave any comments and feedback in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you all tomorrow, lads. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Nidge out.